Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hello, and welcome to the show. We are taking a slightly different angle to career development today, and we are talking about style and how you can be intentional about using your style to raise your visibility and essentially help you to advance your career goals. I had this conversation over on LinkedIn, and side note, if you are not following me on LinkedIn, I suggest that you do, because I have regular career conversations over there where I talk about topics that are relevant to your career development and advancement. So what I'm doing today is bringing you in on the conversation. As I was having it with an amazing guest called Naana Badu, I was thinking, this needs to be shared on the podcast so that you, my lovely listener, can also enjoy the fruit of the conversation and all of the golden nuggets that were shared by Naana. She gave us some really practical tips and guidance on how you can be thinking differently about your wardrobe and how you can be making more of a statement in an intentional way with the clothes that you choose to wear. So without further ado, let's jump into this conversation because it was fire. Hello. I think we are live. I am so excited to be having this conversation today with Naana Badu. So we are having a career conversation today about visibility. I've been talking about visibility over the past month and the importance of it for women who are looking to make big moves in their careers. And today we're going to be diving into how you can be getting more visible and standing out through your style. And when I thought about this topic, there is no other person that I could think of to come on and break down how we need to be thinking about this than the wonderful Naana Badu, who is an amazing style coach. She is an amazing stylist. She is an awesome speaker. And so we're honored to have you with us today, Naana. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Janine. I'm so excited to be here. I think the world of you. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to ask you some questions. But before we do that, start off by just introducing yourself. Right now you're a style coach, you're an amazing stylist, you're a speaker, but that's not how your career started out. So tell us a bit about your background too, as you introduce yourself.
And absolutely. Yes, like Janine mentioned, my career did not start in the style or fashion space. It started in the corporate space. I was a management consultant working at IBM for a number of years. And, I thought I was going to be that fabulous Black executive traveling around the world, corner office. I had the whole thing in my mind around what my career was going to be. But as I was in that career for some time, it wasn't, my calling. As many of you, I'm sure if you're in Janine's community, you understand what it's like to be in a career and feel unfulfilled or feel like you need to pivot or you want to make some kind of change. And that's exactly the way that I was feeling. And so I had an opportunity to style a friend who was a musician, and I did a photo shoot for her, and I loved the entire experience. And I had the light bulb moment of, this is what I want to do. But of course, this was like late 2000s. So, for those who are watching, this is pre-Instagram, pre-TikTok, Internet Explorer was just creeping out on the scene. So there wasn't a lot of resources and information around a styling profession. So what did I do? I was like, well, I'm going back to work. I got bills and a check. I gotta make this happen. So I continued to go on and do management consulting work for a number of years. And while I was doing some contracting work at Deloitte, I started working with a client who was my manager, and she approached me one day because she was looking to go for a promotion at her job. And so she came to me one day and said, Naana, I think I need your help. And I said, what's happening? She said, I really want to go for senior manager this year, but I think in terms of my executive presence, it's lacking in the appearance department. So could you help me with my wardrobe? And so I said, absolutely. So we helped her. We did a whole wardrobe makeover. And needless to say, she got the promotion. Her peers, her clients, her partners all took notice. And, she shared that she had been working with me. And so from there, it just kind of snowballed to other referrals and started working with her partner. And so it just kept going from there. And that was a big aha moment for me, another light bulb moment of, okay, this is really the type of work that I want to be doing when it comes to personal styling, really working with women of color, Black women who are in the corporate space. They're everyday working women. And the way that they show up in their career really matters. And it has an impact to their career trajectory. And so they recognize that and they need support in making that happen.
Oh, I love it. I love it. There's so much in there. Like, one of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that you tested. Like, a lot of the time people are like, okay, I'm not happy in what it is that I'm doing. They just stay doing what they're doing. But the fact that you tried something new and said, oh, I'm gonna style this person. You hadn't done it before, but you did that. And as a result, you were able to see that, oh, this is something that I really enjoy doing. And then have the experience where someone asks you to help, you help them, and then you get referred and you get referred. So it just grows like that. And I think that's such a great example of what can happen when you're just open and where you allow yourself to dabble in different things. Like, yes, you may be a lawyer, an accountant, a management consultant. Like, you might have that title. Yeah. But you're also a person who has interests. You're also a person who has other skill sets and strengths that you can use and that can lead you down a path where you realize that, this is something that, like, I really want to do. And then you become so good at it, right?
100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I could go down a whole thing around being open to what comes your way when it comes to your career. I received so many no's when I was trying to get into the fashion industry space, right? I was like, I've done this photo shoot. The photographer said I was really good. That agency started referring me. I started doing some commercials and I was like, oh, I'm in this thing. I need to go to FIT. I need to go to Parsons. I need to go to a fashion school. I need to work at Donna Karan, Vogue. Like, I need to be in it. I was on the corporate side. I was not living in New York. I was living in the DC area, the Washington, DC area in the United States. And I was banging the door down, trying to figure out every way. Let me retool my resume. Let me talk to some friends that I know in the industry, et cetera, et cetera. And I received no after no after no after no after no. And that could have been the end. That could have been the end of the story. And we would not be having this conversation right here. Right. And I could have just stayed and said, well, I really enjoy it. And as a passion, I'm talented, but I'm not getting the traction the way that I think I should be getting the traction. Yeah. So let's just throw that whole entire notion of that career path out the door. But I just kept going and making room for another opportunity. And that client that I shared who was my manager, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that could be an opportunity that then was like, you know what, let me do this. And I started my own company, because sometimes when the opportunities aren't out there at the places that you might seek to become an employee, sometimes you need to become an employer.
Okay. Let's just rewind a little bit because that right there, like the level of resilience that is required to keep going when there are the no's, when there are knockbacks, and like you being able to say, regardless of the circumstances right now, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I'm committed to. And so I'm going to move forward. But not only am I going to move forward, but if there isn't a table for me, I'm going to create my own table. That's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
I love that on so many levels, because I talk to people a lot about taking ownership of your career and not being passive around the opportunities that you desire to get. Like, lots of people are in the hope space. Like, I hope it happens. I hope it happens. And my thing is, like, you are an incredible example of what happens when you say it's not about hoping. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. It may not look how I thought it was gonna look.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm gonna make it happen. And so I'd love for you to talk more about that when it comes to style, because I think that a lot of the time people get stuck in the, I need to show up and show my expertise. I need to demonstrate my technical ability. I need to work hard, and then my work will speak for me. The harder I work, the more I'll get recognized. And the focus is all on the work. And what I know to be true, and I know you know to be true, is that there should be parallel things happening. Like, you should be doing good work, but you should also be managing your career. And a part of that is, how are you showing up? How are you viewed? What does your executive presence look like? So talk to us a bit about how style comes into that, because I feel like not a lot of people are thinking about that piece.
Yeah. It's so important. I believe that style is just an extension of you. It is a communication tool. It's a marketing tool. And it's definitely an asset when it comes to your career. Because if you are able to utilize it strategically, it can be a conversation starter, and it can invite a lot of different conversations with peers, potential clients, recruiters, etc. And the thing about it is, we are visual people. So people see you first, right? Mm-hmm. They don't get to hear about your accolades. They don't get a 30-second, elevator pitch around why you are amazing as soon as you meet them, right? If you go to a career fair, if you go to a conference, the people see each other first. You do it yourself. You see someone and you give them the scan, right? Head to toe. Mm-hmm. You register them. And then you have 1,000 thoughts about who they are. You create an entire dialogue about who this individual is. Then you might have an introduction and you might meet. And then you have an opportunity to either affirm all the notions you have in your head, or it's going to be contrasting. You're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the ability to utilize your visual presence, or your visual business card, as I like to call it, to say, this is who I am. This is part of my personal brand. This is part of my executive presence. So before you have a conversation with me, you're going to be able to understand a little bit more about me, right? And so, what does that look like tangibly, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, for those in your audience right now, they don't know me. The first time, probably most of them are meeting me, but I'm wearing a bright pink sweater. I have bright pink lips. My nails are green. Even my background, my house is colorful, right? And mm-hmm. So you're naturally more than likely going to say, wow, she's a colorful, energetic person, right? And you would be spot on, because I want you to know that about me, because that is very much attached to who I am and the type of work and the type of speaker that I am, et cetera, right? There's a total package there. So one, I'm very intentional about what I wear, because I know that's very much connected to the impression and the mark that I leave upon people. So if you understand how this is always happening, you can use this as you enter different rooms and spaces and allow it to be a marketing tool for yourself, so that when people see you, they gravitate towards you, right? Like, this market right now, to find this job search market, I mean, it is tough. It is very challenging. And it's no longer enough to just be great in your work product, right? If everybody who was just great and in their work delivery, I mean, we'd all be millionaires. Well, maybe not all of us, but there would be more, right? There would be more people happy in their careers if it was simply just about getting the work done and doing the work well. Right?
Yes.
If that was it, there would be so many people would be like, yeah, just show up, I do a good job, and I get the promotion, I get the raise, I get the visibility, et cetera, et cetera. But that's just not how it works, right? It's very much about people and relationships and showcasing how you are able to go above and beyond that. And for many of the clients that I work with, they're in leadership positions. So when it comes to visibility, that's huge. They're public speaking. They're the thought leader at their company. They're front and center with the VIP clients. They are the ones who are in front of very important people to showcase their knowledge and experience. So, and understanding that a leadership role was something that's very important to them, they had to understand, how do I differentiate myself? Like, that is something you should always be asking. How am I differentiating myself from everybody else? Because that's the way that you are going to be seen and heard. So how are you doing that always, right? When you're in a meeting and you're sharing an idea, what is the idea? How is it going to be a different way of thought from everybody else, right? When you are at the conference and everybody is around in navy blue suits, guess what? People tend to get lost and are not memorable in those spaces. But if you choose to stand out with a pop of red lip, a red shoe, a green blouse, like something that is going to get attraction, that is something that people remember and are easily like, yeah, I remembered you. Like, I really loved that brooch you were wearing, or, I really loved your hairstyle, whatever it might be. But if you're intentionally asking yourself, how can I differentiate myself so I become more visible? That's something that's going to always get you further within your career goals.
Yeah, I love that. Like that intentionality piece where it's like, I'm actually thinking about what I want people to think about me, and I'm engineering that. So I'm not just waiting and hoping that they pick up what I'm putting down. It's like, no, exactly. I want them to think this about me because that's who I am. And so I demonstrate that. Yeah. And like one of the things you said is, if you do have something that is a statement piece, people will remember it. Oh, the girl with the pink top, or she was the one who, or she was the one who had this. But I think that with a lot of women, I think there's two things. One is that we're engineered, or we are conditioned to think that professional means dark suit, like the grey suit, the black suit, the blue suit.
Yep.
Particularly if you're coming from a professional services background, it's like, oh, that's just what we do here. Like that's just the uniform.
Right.
And then the other thing is people not wanting to stand out. So whilst they know that they need to stand out, because that's how you get opportunities, there's a reluctance there. Like I see it with clients all the time where it's like, like I'm telling them to go and post on LinkedIn and they're just like, So then when we're talking about, okay, go and wear something bold and different to an event, it's like,
right.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I like it's a big thing that's holding people back. Like you wanting to blend in means that you blend in. Yes. And you don't stand out and you don't get noticed and you don't get the opportunities. And so let's talk about, why is it that we need to do better with that as women and just be like, I am who I am and I'm showing up as who I am, versus like, I just want to blend into the background.
Yeah. No, I hear this all the time. Like this is probably like the number one thing that clients come to me and talk about, and that I speak about, is the fear of looking or being perceived as unprofessional in a space, right? Because we have been indoctrinated to the status quo of black, navy, khaki, gray suits. And that's what you wear, and you keep it in neutral colors, and you just blend in. You blend in like an assembly line of other professionals, and that's it, right? And it's such a, it's so funny because there's so much learning and unlearning that I think happens in life in general, right? And I think in this space it is no different. But I think the thing that I always think about is like anyone who's done anything amazing in this world stood out.
Oh, that part.
Right? Part. Anybody. Think about the individuals that you admire, that you look up to within your career, and you're just like, oh, she's crushing it. He's crushing it. They're doing their thing. Man, I just love them. I love what they stand for. Whatever. Current history doesn't matter. In some way, shape, or form, they chose to have a thought, an idea that was not aligned with the status quo. They had the courage to break out of that and do something different. Yes. So if that's the baseline for excellence, that's the baseline for being a thought leader, for being innovative, like you have to understand that there's an unlearning and an adoption of a different school of thought that you're going to have to get into. Yes. And so that means fully that relying on this notion that, well, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to be seen as the rebel rouser or someone who's not going along with things. You're so focused on what other people think that is overshadowing what you think and what you want. So what do you want with your career? What do you want? Do you want more money? Do you want a different job? Do you want to leave? Do you want to be partner? Like, what do you want? It's about you. It's your life. It's about you. It's not about everybody else's opinion. So you have to know first and foremost, like, what's the goal for yourself? And, so many people want promotion and want more money, right? Or some people want to make a pivot. Like, so if these are the things you desire, then you have to start putting that path together. I mean, Janine knows she breaks this down all the time, right? You start putting that path together and start putting that plan and to put it into action. And so as you're thinking about that, there has to be a part of you that says and chooses to say, I'm going to be visible. Like, I know that in order to make this happen for myself, I've been hiding, right? Like, I've literally been hiding in every way. I've been hiding because I'm like, I'm afraid to share an opinion in the office. I've been hiding because I wear clothes that are typically too big for me or that cover up my shape because I'm curvaceous and I don't want anybody to see it. Or I'm going to wear the same black colors because if I wear too many bold colors, I'm going to be seen as being too outspoken. All of the fears about what other people are going to think. Like, is that your personality? Like, is that you? Or do you have innovative ideas? Are you a thought leader? Are you someone who is bold? Like, what is it? What is it about your personality? Like, who are you, right? And allow that to be translated outwardly so that people can get some insight into you. And it doesn't matter what kind of personality you have, extroverted, introverted, it doesn't matter. What matters most is that there's an alignment between how you show up and who you are, right? Like, it has to be aligned because people can feel if it ain't, right? Yeah. Like, there's so many people you've seen at work and you're just like, that's not you. You're just, you're doing the absolute most right now because you're trying to impress and it feels disingenuous, right? And you can feel it and everybody's like, ugh, it just feels icky, right? There's a big difference between that and someone who is confident, someone who's self-assured because they know their work is great and they know the way in which they're showing up and what they're wearing fits them, that the quality of their pieces are great, that the colors complement their skin and their features, right? That they're wearing accessories that speak to their culture or their values, right? And that give insight into who they are. Like, this is what people want. People are like, yes, okay, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What are you doing? It pulls people in. So let's unlearn the hiding. and let's learn the visibility, right?
Yes, I love that. And I like what you said just there around like the alignment piece, because what we're not saying is like you just need to go out and buy yourself a red coat and just walk around with a red coat. Like, I like a red coat. I have had quite a few in my day, but that's me. I like red. You may not be you. So we're not saying like you need to go and just, just be visible for visible sake. But I like the fact that you're talking about alignment. So you figuring out what actually represents you so that you can be showing up most confidently. Yeah. Because I think when you said about worrying about what everyone else thinks, that's such a big piece. And we talked about this when we had a previous conversation on our live, where we were like, who are the people, right? It's like, they say everybody's going to think this. Who is the everybody? Like, the reality is there's close to 8 billion people in the world. So when you're saying everybody, are you talking about all those 8 billion people? Are you talking about 5 people? Because like, it's the perspective. It's not everybody. What's everyone going to think? And the reality is you're never going to know what they think. And so let's lean into, what do you actually want, as you put it? And like, what do you think about what it is that you're wearing and how it is that you're showing up? And then be mindful about the fact that you can shape perceptions, and you can, it's that piece around like, you can accelerate the result that you're trying to get if you are mindful about your style. Because if people see you first, you might have to work harder than is necessary, because you're like not paying attention to that, and you're just like, okay, I need to have this conversation, I need to say the right things. But it's like, hold on, if I know where I'm going and the space that I'm in, and I know the impression that I want to give, and I think about my styling, I'm already giving that impression as soon as I get up on that stage or put my hand up in that meeting before I speak. It's like we can accelerate what you're trying to do. Style, which I just think is amazing.
It's and that's and it makes me think about, the adage people say all the time, like, stay ready, don't get ready. And to me, that just translates to being consistent. Like, be consistent. If you're going to be consistent in the quality of your work, be consistent in the quality of your appearance. Be consistent in the quality of your behavior, in the quality of your communication. Be consistent, right? Don't just, we're just virtual, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm just popping into the office, nobody cares. And then, I'm going to go to this event, or I'm going to have this conference. Okay, now let me go rush and try to buy something because I don't have nothing to wear. It's like, you're not building a consistent brand, and you're not doing it with intention. So therefore, people are like, well, if she doesn't care and she continuously saying it doesn't matter, guess what people are going to think about you? It doesn't matter. That's not something that's important to her, right? So you really want it to be a consistent thing. It's so funny. One of my clients, she's an executive at an entertainment company, and we've been working together for probably a little over a year now. And when we first started working together, she's a thought leader in the DE&I space. And she knew that she had very specific goals, right? Like, she knew that she was making different pivots in the tech and entertainment industry. And now she's at a point where people are like, oh, when we get on the Zoom, I'm so excited to see what glasses you're wearing. Like, it's just so exciting and so interesting. It's like it's just a nice little departure from, we've got to do the work, but it's a nice way to just even ease into some conversation and have fun, right? And it is just part of the calling card. And she's like, I love that because it also speaks to my personality. Like, I want to be relatable. I want my team to feel like they can have conversation with me, and that there's not this superiority and inferiority complex happening, right? Like, yes, I'm disciplined. Yes, I'm the leader of our team, but also, like, hey, what's happening? What's going on with you? What'd you do this weekend? Like, I can have conversation and dialogue with you. And so there's a relatability element there that you just be so surprised the things that people pay attention to that they don't talk about. And these are the intangible things that help you and hinder you when it comes to your career. Those are the things. Those are the things when the partners are in a room and they're like, does she have the thing, right? Outside of, let's say, just all things being relatively equal. I don't want to stretch that too far, but y'all, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. But when things are on the table in a really great way, and like, man, I really want to be included, and I want my name being spoken in a way that's going to get me the job, the promotion, etc. Like, you want them to be saying things beyond your work, because that's what they're looking for. They're wondering, like, okay, so do you think that we could have her take that trip to make that first introduction for this new client? Like, how would she handle that? And they're thinking about everything. What are you going to be wearing? How are you going to show up? Right? Yeah. How are you going to be communicating? What are your behaviors and mannerisms, right? Do you fidget? Are you pulling on your clothes? Are you biting your nails? Are you twirling your hair? Like, they need to know all these things. How's your tone and intonation when you're speaking? Are you soft? Are you like every other word? Like, all of these elements are being taken into consideration. And it's so important for you to have a registry of how you're doing in those different areas. And so if you know that your appearance is one space where you don't give a whole lot of energy, well, guess what? That's going to be a ding to you when it comes to how you're showing up, because a lot of times people will say executive presence, leadership presence. Sometimes they'll just say that it factor. Like, there's so many ways that people couch some of these things and say it, because they might not even know how to articulate it themselves. Because they're like, there's just something about her, like,
I can't put my finger on it.
Right. But there's just something that's like missing, that's not there. And, and quite frankly, those are the spaces where you need to get some coaching, right? Like, that's where the personal development and professional development comes into play. And you're like, okay, can I get some candid feedback? Hopefully you can have that kind of relationship where you can do some assessing yourself to see, like, where's the miss, where the miss is happening.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good. So good. So, like, let's talk a little bit about the practicalities, right? And if anyone who's watching this, whether it is live or on the replay, if you have questions, type them in the chat and we can circle back to them. But Naana, if you're just getting started and you're like, do you know what? I have been head down in the weeds just doing the work, and I haven't even been cognizant of, like, all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, I know that there's various things that happen in the workplace. There's, like, unspoken rules. I say that, there's a playbook, and a lot of us have pages missing. Like, we didn't even realize it. So some of what you're showing is, like, on those missing pages for people. Like, they didn't even realize that they should be thinking about this. No. So how do you start? Because it could feel overwhelming. It could be like, okay, like, do I need to change my whole wardrobe? Like, I need to get myself together. Do I have to hire a stylist? I don't know. Like, da-da-da. So, like, if you're just trying to make a little progress or get started, what are some of the things that you would say, okay, look, baseline, these are the things that you need to be focused on to start off with?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so first things first, you want to get some clarity around what kind of style you want to have, right? This is number one. A lot of people are like, I don't even know what kind of personal style I want, right? So you want to get clear on that. A simple way to do it, pick 3 words that you would use to define the kind of style that you want. It could be anything. It could be classic. It could be sophisticated, elegant, creative, colorful, feminine, whatever it is. Pick 3 words, 3 words that immediately come to mind. And that's how you're going to begin to define what kind of style you want to have. Second thing you would do is create a mood board. So you can use Pinterest, Instagram. If you want to be super fancy, you can hop over to Canva and have a ball. But, Pinterest is very easy and low level of effort. And you can literally take the words that you use to define the kind of style you want and type them into Pinterest and see the kinds of images that will come up, and you can add them to your mood board. And then, you know, Pinterest is great because it'll give you other prompts and other recommendations, but you can then begin to see, all right, is this the type of style that I want to have? And I think another thing that's great about the mood board is, you know, it gives you the visual to be able to say, okay, what's aligned with the way that I'm dressing now versus how I want to dress for the future, right? So like understand that there's a trajectory there, like there's some growth that needs to happen there, right? So if your closet is filled with, you know, neutral suits from Ann Taylor and you're like, everything is so bland, like I need some pops of color, you know, then look at what pictures are on your mood board. If all the pictures on your mood board are khaki and navy suits, guess what? Your mood board ain't complete. You need to add some different images there, right? You need to add some of those pops of color into the mix. So the mood board is really great because it gives you like a North Star to figure out what you need. Then from there, I said the last thing is then you can go into your closet and start to say, okay, what is connected with the type of style I really desire and what's not? And start to go through your wardrobe and start editing things based on quality and the style, right, that you desire. And really, you know, be definitive about it. It's a yes or it's a no. If it's like a
yes or no.
It's likely a hard no, right? Like when you have something, you know how you feel when you wear something, you're just like, I love this piece. When I wear it, I feel so good. It's super comfortable, or just like looks great on my body, or I love the color. I get so many compliments, right? Like, you know, so many of us, it's like that external validation, that should be just a cherry on top. That is not the sundae, right? The sundae is you feeling good in it and feeling amazing when you step out the door. When you do that, then everybody else sees the confidence. They see that it's authentic to you. They feel that, and then they're like gushing over you because they feel that energy. So it's really about that. And then when you're going through your closet, you're doing it more from a place of clarity and less from a place of like confusion, anxiety, self-deprecating. You know, you're trying to leave and transition yourself out of shopping and putting outfits together from that space, right? Like, no, we need to inject a little more positivity in the mix.
This is so good. Like that intentionality piece. I think when you were talking, I was thinking about the fact that often when we know we need to make a change, we just try and jump into it. So I was thinking about when clients come to me and they're thinking about making a change, they're like, I just need to update my resume, my CV. I need to update my LinkedIn profile. And then my response to them is like, with what though? Like, what are you updating it with? Because what are you actually applying for? And they don't know yet. They haven't got the clarity around what they're trying to go for. So I'm like, so what are we putting on these documents? And I think it's the same thing, like you're saying with the style. People are like, I want to change my style, so I need to go shopping.
Exactly. Exactly. For what though?
To do the piece that you said around, well, first define what kind of style do you want to have, like what we're trying to create here, so that when you go to the shops and you're shopping, it's like, I know what I'm trying to buy. It's aligned with this. And I think it goes across the board. Like if you are a woman who wants to take ownership of your career, you need to set the vision on so many levels around like where you're trying to go. And to Naana's point, like it then becomes less overwhelming because instead of saying I need to go shopping and you're looking through all the racks and all the shops and all the things, it's like, no, I need to create this type of image or I'm creating this type of style for myself. So therefore it narrows the focus in terms of where you need to shop and like what types of pieces you need to buy. So I love that. It's like, start with the end in mind. Like, what am I trying to do here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Try go to the shops and like start trying on clothes. Absolutely.
Because, you know, the thing is, you don't want to start doing that with all of the old limiting beliefs still in play, right? Because if you we all have them, right? Like we can be hard on ourselves about our body and our shape, whether that means we've gained some weight, you've had a baby, right? Just life, right? We had a whole pandemic. Like there are things that happen that influence, changes in your weight. And so you want to be in a space where you have some acceptance with where your body is now.
Wait. Right. We got to slow down. We have to slow down. Say that again. Run that back again.
Right.
DJ.
Oh my God. Please have some acceptance about where your body is today. Like it is okay to have goals and, be actively working on your fitness or your health journey. Like if that's the case, like awesome, and if that's the case with you, like you don't want to be investing in a whole bunch of clothes that you're just going to have to alter later anyway, if you're seriously committed to making a change. But if you know that life be lifing and that, what, I might just be at this size right now. Like this might be my new size. It's okay. Like it is okay. But you have to come to a place of acceptance in that so that you can begin to say, okay, what clothes are going to fit me best? What styling is going to be the best to accentuate this new body that I'm in, right? So it's not just the jump of like, I just love my body and everything about it. Like, yes, there are going to be those moments. You're going to have a lot of those days. There should be more days that you feel like I'm loving how I'm looking, I'm feeling good about my body, and less days where you're critical, right? It's not all or nothing. That's not reality, right? It's not just body love, body positivity every day. That ain't real, right? Like there's gonna be looking in the mirror like, dang, is that role still there? Like it's, we have it. It's okay. But you want to have more days where you're like, all right, this is looking good. I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm doing great, because those are the confidence boosters, right? You need more confidence boosting moments. So,
and now can I just say there, like for those who are listening, who are like parents, like you've had children or whatever, like I feel like I was, after I had my children, I was keeping up my fitness regime throughout. So after I had both of them, I like snapped back, as it were, right? Like, okay, I got back to my old weight. And then like years have gone by, and then it's like, okay, what's going on now? Like we're moving into a new phase, and like there's a little bit of squidge in certain places. And I really had to like sit with that and actually let go of the desire to go back to the old me.
Yeah.
Like, I used to look like this, and my abs used to be like this, and like I need to get back. And it's like, no, but wait, you're actually a new person. Like you're a new version of yourself. You've birthed 2 babies. Like you are. And so rather than saying I need to get back to the old me, it's like I want to optimize the new me. Like this is the new body, right? And so not to say just accept it, because you may be like, okay, there's certain things that I want to do, but there's a different perspective when you're like, okay, we're optimizing the new me. And I'm embracing that, like, it might be a little bit squidgy in certain places where it wasn't before, but hey, we can work this. And so like to your point, what clothing do I need to be wearing that I feel confident in now, rather than just dressing anyhow, waiting till I get back to like previous version. So my encouragement to anyone who's gone through life transitions, or even just from an age perspective, you might not have had kids, but like you're moving into a new bracket.
Right. That metabolism starts slowing down.
Right. And then it's like what you used to be able to do and how quickly you used to be able to shed, it's not working anymore. It's like, how do you work with what you've got so that you are confident that you're bringing the best you?
Yes.
100%. And like more focus on that than on the like, I just haven't, like, I need to sort this out. Like we need to have more days where it's like, embrace who you are and like, how are you showing up?
That's right. Completely. Because the truth is, like, your style is not limited by your size. Your size doesn't equal your style. You don't have to be skinny to be stylish. Like, there are countless examples of women, everyday women, celebrities, all the time, who are at all kinds of different body shapes, all kinds of different heights, who have amazing style. So really, like, you have to release yourself. I tell my clients all the time, like, our words and our thoughts matter, but especially our words. Well, I'm short, so nothing fits me. Everything's long, oh, I have a long torso, I struggle to find pants. Like, oh, I had 2 kids, I've gained weight. Like, I get it that it is challenging and frustrating. It is. Like, let's just understand that is something that exists. Also, there's part of you that is feeling like you said, Janine, there was a different version of myself that was stylish because I was at a smaller size. Often can be the mentality, right? And you have to release yourself of that. You can be stylish at a size 2 or a size 22 and every size in between. The style is you. It's about your swag, your attitude, your personality, like how you communicate, how you like it's you. The clothes are there, but I could take 2 completely different people and put them in the same clothing. And it's going to read totally different.
Yeah. Like they do that, right? Where they do more
exactly, right?
Dress, and it's like this person's rocking it and this person ain't rocking it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Size. It's not
100%. It's not a size thing. It's a personality thing. Like, it is completely a personality thing. And so if you understand that and you start to open yourself up to that, you're like, okay, yes, I can be stylish. I can have dope style. This is something that I can do. All right, let me see how I can do this to make it work for my body. Okay, I've gained some weight in the midsection. What does that mean? That means you should be wearing things that are higher waisted, right? Because you always want to be able to identify where your waistline is if you're feeling like it's not something that's as easily visible as it used to be. Because you have shape. You have a bust, you have a waist, you have hips, you have a leg. So you have legs. So you want to see those different body parts. You don't want to cover them all up. Oftentimes we gain weight and then it's just like, well, I don't want anybody to see me. I'm like, they won't because you're covered up. So I was like, okay, great. Mission accomplished. But is that really what you want? No, you're just afraid, right? You're afraid of being at a different size and that you feel a little self-conscious about that. I understand that. But here's the deal. Like, you want to be visible and you want to wear things that are going to illuminate your body in a really positive way. So make sure your body parts can be seen. Make sure people can see your neckline, and that draws attention to your face, right? You don't have to cover it up every single element all of the time, right? If you're feeling a little squishy in the middle, just raise that waistline up. You used to wear mid-rise. High rise, be your best friend, right? Like those are the small things that you can begin to do to say, all right, I'm no longer going to be hiding in my clothes. I'm going to be more body accepting about where I am right now.
I love this. So, and I think what I love is that it doesn't have to be the whole overhaul. Like these are like small practical things that you can do. And I think for some people, it's like, well, when I had more time, I was more stylish. Like when I was, back in the day when all I had to worry about was me. But now, like, life's got the better of me and I haven't got the time. So I think like having these small practical things that you can be doing, and even you just thinking differently about like why it is you're getting dressed and like what the intention is around this outfit and where you're going to be, and acknowledging that presence piece is so helpful, because it allows you to then do the small things rather than feeling like I need to tackle this whole thing if I'm going to tackle it. It doesn't have to be a whole thing.
It doesn't. And it's definitely important for you to identify like what's the reason, what are the challenges? What are the wardrobe challenges, right? What are you saying to yourself when you in the morning when you're getting dressed? Are you saying, I don't have anything to wear? Are you saying nothing fits? Are you saying, I don't have time to get dressed? Like, are you saying everything in my closet looks the same and I feel bored and uninspired? What are you saying? What are you saying all the time? right? You want to know what that is. And if, to your point, if time is something that you're saying, like, I don't have a lot of time. I got kids, I got a spouse, I got this job, I got this dog, like, you got all of the things. And if time is a hindrance, it's even more important for you to have the pieces in your closet that you need, that are of great quality, fit you well, and are aligned with your style. Like, that is going to make getting dressed very, very easy for you.
Yes. So good. Oh, Nana, these are gems upon gems. I knew it. So if people want to know more about, working with you, like how you support, share, let the people know.
Absolutely. Come send me a message on LinkedIn. Come connect with me. Send me a DM. Let me know you watched this live with Janine. And then, we can take some time to hop on a style discovery call and really talk about what your goals are with your style and how it aligns to your career and what kind of challenges you're having now. And then, we can share and see if it feels like we're a good fit to work with each other. And we could talk about the different kind of solutions that I had that might be helpful for you.
Yes, this is so good. So good. And I remember one time when we did one of my group programs, we had guest experts come in and Naana came in and everyone was just like, oh my goodness, like this was so helpful. Like, she has such a great way of just breaking things down and making it digestible but impactful. And so, yeah, if style's on your agenda, like, just go send her a message right now. Okay. Thank you so much, Naana. It's been a pleasure having you come and share with us. I just love what you're doing and how you show up in the world and inspire everyone else. So I appreciate you.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate you.
All right, everyone, we're going to go now. We'll be back again next Wednesday. So every Wednesday, if this is the first time you're catching me live, I do a career conversation on a Wednesday at 12 noon UK time and have different conversations about different career topics. Oh, Naana, do you want to plug your live streams that you do?
I do lives Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern USA time. So
yeah. So if you enjoyed this experience, make sure that you tune into our lives so you can hear more from us. But with that, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Was I right or was I right? I would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaway from today's episode. So if you're not already part of the Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn, head over, join us, and let's have a conversation, because I think there was so much in this episode that we can take away and we can take action on. So that's all from me this time. I will see you again very, very soon. Until next time, take care of you and keep moving towards your career goals. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, then I want to remind you that caring is sharing. Share this episode out with somebody else and head over to your podcast app to leave us a rating and review. For every rating and review that you leave, it helps us reach more people. It helps more people find the show. So I'd appreciate it if you go and do that right now. Thank you so much.